Okay, so we are resuming our football club history series and we are returning to Switzerland for this video. We're looking at Neuchatel Xamax F.C.S. They play at the Stade de la Maladière, has a capacity of 12,000 in Neuchatel. Club that in its current form was founded in 1970 out of the merger of FC Cantonal, who were Swiss champions in 1916, very good club, and FC Xamax. They merged together to form Neuchatel Xamax. 2013, following the 2012 bankruptcy, which we'll discuss later, they also merged with FC Serriers. So three clubs have merged together to form what is now known today as Neuchatel Xamax. The FCS part is because of FC Serriers. Now, clubs doing really well between 1970 and 2012, then the club goes bankrupt. And this is a recurring theme we are seeing in Swiss football, is a lot of clubs have had financial issues in the last 20 years. Neuchatel Xamax is yet another one that has had financial problems, and this deserves a little bit of investigation, I think. There's something obviously has clearly happened financially in Swiss football between 2000 and 2015 for the number of clubs we have seen to have financial issues. Considering Switzerland is one of the wealthiest countries in the world with highest average incomes, more disposable income, there's a lot of money in Switzerland, so it's very, very surprising to me the amount of clubs that are having financial issues in the Swiss league system. And Neuchatel Xamax was one of those clubs. So, they are relegated to the fifth tier in 2012. They returned to the top flight in 2018. That is 5 promotions in 6 seasons. That is near on ridiculous. Very few clubs can do that many promotions in that short spell of time. Last night on live stream I was asked about Wrexham, could they ever make the Premier League, considering that the current ownership at Wrexham has a plan to be a Premier League club within the next 5 to 10 years, and I said yes. I said it's entirely possible, considering Ipswich have just done back-to-back promotions to go from League 1, and they'll be playing in the Premier League next season. Yeovil did multiple promotions to go from the non-league to the Championship in less than a decade, so while Yeovil are now back in the non-league, it's very, very doable to have multiple promotions in a very short spell of time. It's really rare and hard to do, however. And Neuchatel Xamax did it in 6 seasons, had 5 promotions, so very, very doable. And that is a ridiculous record to have. They're currently playing in the Swiss second tier in the Challenge League. They survived last season's relegation playoff to stay in the second tier for this season, so they're not a top flight club as of right now, but they were back in the past, and they do have some honours. This club has won some silverware, so I'm very, very. I always knew that the Swiss league system was quite competitive, and with the amount of clubs playing in it, it's actually more competitive than I realised. There's a lot of silverware being shared around a lot of clubs. Now, Neuchatel Xamax, since 1970, have won the Swiss Super League on 2 separate occasions. They've also won the Swiss Super Cup on 3 separate occasions. If you count FC Cantonal, they've been league champions 3 times. We're not counting FC Cantonal in Neuchatel Xamax's honour list, however. So they win the Swiss Super League in back-to-back seasons. The 86-87 season, they follow it up and win it again in the 87-88 season. So back-to-back league titles. That's a pretty fair bit of going. Also, they win the Swiss Super Cup on 3 separate occasions in the 1987, 1988 and 1990. So this 4-year period, they win 5 trophies. That's it. That's their success. That's their success. They're literally, that was their window. That's their championship window. They win their silverware and they're done. And we see this with a lot of clubs who have their purple patch or their dominant spell. They don't win before, they don't win after. It's just that spell when they have that squad that they've assembled and they win, and that's it. And with Neuchatel Xamax's case, between 1987 and 1990, they win 5 trophies. That is not bad going in a very short spell, very dominant club, and that's it, done. They've not been successful since. They weren't successful before. We've seen this with Huddersfield in the 20s. We've seen it with Preston in the 1880s, back in English football, which we've done videos on. We've obviously seen it more recently with Man City having a big spell of dominance now, although they had some success before. We've seen Chelsea in the last 20 or so years. Most of their success has come in the last 2 decades. They had a little bit before, but not a lot. Obviously, Liverpool and Man United had their very dominant spells in their past. Everton were very dominant in the past, not so much now. In Neuchatel Xamax's case, here in Switzerland, 5 trophies and done. Now, that's not to say they won't win silverware again in the future, but here's another little random fact. They've appeared in 5 Swiss Cup finals and lost all 5. So, yes, they've won, 5 trophies, not the Swiss Cup, which I find very interesting because there are some clubs that have very good records in the Swiss Cup, not Neuchatel Xamax. very poor record, never won a Swiss Cup final, which I find really interesting. Some clubs in certain competitions always lose in the final. It was like Leicester City, for example, in England, lost how many FA Cup finals before they finally won one? At the 7th attempt, they lost 6 finals, including 3 in 5 years. So sometimes you can have that psychological, in the back of your mind, can we do this? But there we go. There's a brief history of Neuchatel Xamax. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments section below. These Swiss club history videos have actually proven quite popular. The comment sections have been pretty good. And we are getting viewers from Switzerland watching these videos. So if you are a viewer from Switzerland, place where you are in Switzerland below. I'd love to hear from you. I love doing these club history videos because it draws in viewers from around the world, and it's really interesting to get your feedback from where you are. And if you follow the Swiss League, place your thoughts in the comment section below as well. But from me for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll have some more content for you guys very, very soon.